Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time we are doing a why buy on Sivir. This is actually going to be an updated why buy. I believe I have one previously where I talk about Sivir, but she received a rework and therefore I wanted to cover it and kind of update the why buy as of her changes in patch 3.13. So Sivir, she got a visual update and she got some fairly massive tweaks to her kit. You see we're going for a little 3-man invade right here, and I'm going to get the hook there, and we're going to get this kill. Look, the Cinder just gives up. She doesn't want to try anymore, which was kind of funny. We didn't actually have any ignites, so I think she probably could have gotten away, but she just gave up, which is probably not the best choice. But I'm actually playing as Thresh this game, supporting for this Sivir, but I still thought it was a very good game, and when you're supporting, you have a pretty good idea of how the AD carry played and what their AD carry is capable of. So I thought it was a good game to show off some Sivir. So yeah, let's talk about her new abilities. I think that for the most part, she has been considered to be extremely powerful, and I would not be surprised if she receives a nerf, actually. Because these changes have made her very, very strong. Her win rate has skyrocketed. I want to say she's like up in the 53, 55-ish%, something like that, which is generally as high as a champion will ever sit in terms of a win rate. We'll see how things settle out when people get kind of more accustomed to her. Definitely the newness of her kit is a big factor, but still I think she's very strong. So we'll keep an eye on that in the future. But for now, let's check out her kit. Her passive, Fleet of Foot. This has remained unchanged, I believe. Whenever Sivir hits a basic attack or ability on an enemy champion, she gains bonus movement speed. So Sivir is kind of in an interesting place in terms of mobility, because she doesn't really have any sort of gap closer or escape like an Ezreal or a Graves or a Vayne or anything like that that have these like immediate, on-demand abilities to move themselves around the map and keep themselves safe. But Sivir has her passive, and she also has her ultimate, which actually makes her very, very good at kiting, which is really important. This passive is extremely important to her kit, because Sivir has 500 auto attack range. 500 auto attack, I believe, is like the second shortest auto attack range in League of Legends for an AD carry. I believe Urgot, who maybe isn't even technically an AD carry, is the only one who has shorter range. But what is he, like 425? But 500 is like really short. Like Kog'Maw has 500, and then a lot of other AD carries have either 525 or 550, but 500 is very, very short auto attack range, and that kind of puts Sivir in a bit of a tough spot. A lot of people have been clamoring, you know, if all you would do is change her range to 550, she would be a top tier AD carry because she's got some really cool other parts of her kit. But that didn't happen in this change, and I give kudos to Riot for not, going the conventional route and changing her auto attack range like many people asked for, but going a different route and giving her power elsewhere. And her passive kind of helps make up for that short auto attack range, because a nice little tag team there from the Thresh auto attack and the Sivir Boomerang Blade, which we will get into next. Her Q ability, Boomerang Blade, she just fired it right there. This Boomerang Blade is a skill shot. It is a... Ooh, nice job getting... Oh, I missed the flay. Shoot. But gonna throw down the war. Nice Boomerang Blade right there to pick up the kill on Ashe. Can we get one more kill? The Sivir has been going super ham. Can she get the... There's an auto. Nice. Very nice. I don't have any cooldowns to help her out with an auto attack. Very nice job picking up that kill. I think that Udyr was trying to get his damage over time to get the kill, and he almost did, but not quite close enough. So Sivir has gotten off to a very nice start here with 3 early kills, with some help from her wonderful Thresh support, JK, wink wink. But anyways, Boomerang Blade, it is a skill shot that you send out in a line. It deals damage on one return and also on the second return, so it's kind of similar to Ahri's Q, her Orb of Deception, I believe is what it's called, or something like that. But this is a very powerful ability. This is Sivir's, kind of core damaging ability. And it is it's got nice long range, like about as long range as an Ezreal Q. And it's on a moderate cooldown, 9 seconds is kind of high. But then the mana cost is also quite high as well. But the damage is very, very high to compensate. One trip, I believe it does reduce damage to subsequent targets. Yeah, so it is an AoE ability, but if you hit minions or something like that, it will deal reduced damage. But if you hit someone with both trips, like right there, you can see just chunking down that Nami very heavily. the damage is crazy high. Like 240 plus 110% bonus AD is the initial damage, and then if you get the second one, it gets reduced. So your maximum single target damage is 432 plus 198% of your bonus AD. That is pretty absurd in terms of AD scaling. I don't know how that hook didn't hit, but that would have been a kill for sure. But so this Boomerang Blade is very, very high damaging ability, and it's definitely core to her kit. It is. It's just a very strong ability overall. How is she getting her cooldown? Oh, she has blue buff. Okay, that would explain it. Blue buff is really good on Sivir, by the way, because she does have mana problems, especially with her Q, if you spam it a little bit too much. But ooh, there's a nice grab and a flay and exhaust, and can Sivir get there? Some nice job by Sivir to pick up that kill. So the hook leads to another kill on this poor Ashe, who's just getting wrecked. So anyways, that's her Boomerang Blade. Really good wave clear, really good poke, really good damage, and it's a really core part of her kit. It's just a really strong. Wanting to grab that soul and took a few 2-8 turret shots. But it's a really core part of her kit, and mastering it is definitely what you want to do. An important thing is to kind of, because the easiest way to hit both the down and back is to hit it at max range, kind of just like Ahri. If you hit it at max range, you will guarantee to hit both procs. And so you want to kind of get a feel for the range and try to hit it at max range. That's usually the best way to go about it. So next would be her Ricochet W. This was a nice flash hook from Thresh, and there's the box and the flay, and there's the Sivir ultimate, and there is a kill. So very nice job by Sivir to follow up on my flash hook. So anyways, next up is Ricochet. This is something that was changed fairly heavily and unfortunately I think we actually get caught out here. We were overextended. I don't have any more cooldowns to protect Sivir, and Udyr just chases too well. So unfortunately I think we both end up dying. But anyways, Ricochet, so this was changed fairly heavily in the rework. Before, what it would do is it was an auto-attack reset, so you could auto-attack, hit W, and then it would attack again, and then it would bounce up to 5 targets and deal like a percentage of your attack damage. I think it had like a base damage as well. But now, what it does is her next 3 basic attacks bounce to nearby enemies, and it has unlimited bounces. Before, it only had 5. Now it has unlimited bounces. It deals a percentage of her attack damage. And like I said, there's no limit. So, and it will bounce to the nearest nearby enemy, which would either be a champion or minion. And like I said, the bounces are unlimited. It also interacts with her ultimate. When she gains her ultimate, it gains a passive component where whenever Ricochet is active, she gains a pretty nice, hefty bonus to attack speed. 40, 16, 80% bonus attack speed during those 3 attacks while Ricochet is active. So overall, a very strong ability. And this is one of the things that really informs her build. You really want to build attack damage on Sivir because her Ricochet, you can see using it right there to clear out those minions. It's bouncing very nicely. But it will deal a percentage of her total attack damage. So Bloodthirster, Infinity Exhaust Whisper, all really good items on Sivir. But this is really nice. It gives Sivir fantastic wave clear, and it really establishes her in her niche of being a very strong AoE champion. That is really where Sivir excels and shines. She's got fantastic AoE with her Q and her W. So, in terms of clearing big minion waves and pushing, she is the best. Her pushing before this was already absurdly strong, like a QW at max rank with some attack damage could instantly clear like almost an infinitely large minion wave. And now that is even more true. She's using the bouncing blades on these minions to just totally obliterate that wave. Very, very powerful. There's the Q, and I believe she may use probably not going to use the W again. She's a little low on mana. But, so really, really cool ability. This is really, like I said, what makes her an AoE champion, and it helps her clear and push very, very hard. Next up would be her Spell Shield. This has always been Sivir's kind of most identifying attribute, and it's really what makes her kit work. Her Spell Shield is it can be so powerful, and it can really, change the dynamic of certain matchups in bot lane, and it makes her kind of hard to deal with in certain situations because she always has the possibility of spell shielding. Basically, she activates it, and the next spell that is cast on her will be totally nullified. So it's very, very cool, and it also gives her mana back when she successfully blocks a spell. So this is kind of one of the ways to help her manage her high mana costs, specifically on her Q, as that she has this spell shield to continually get mana back. So a good Sivir player will be able to spell shield at a moment's notice, when like a high priority skill shot, like a blitzcrank hook or a thresh grab, or a big time, like a Moo ultimate, something like that. Some of these, skills, these big time crowd controls, if Sivir can properly use her spell shield, she can eat that mana. It also makes her really, really good against, like, in just certain lane matchups, like Sona with her Q poke. Sona's going to run at you, she's going to hit Q over and over again and get that poke off. Well, with Sivir, it's very, very predictable when... Wow, look at that chunk right there onto Nami. But it's very predictable when someone like Sona is going to run up and use her ability, or like a Janna Tornado. They're very predictable. So with Sivir, you can just pop your spell shield and go get yourself some free mana. So it has this really interesting dynamic going on. Oh my gosh, how did she even get that kill? I want to watch this. Was this just a Q? All she did was land a Q and it like chunked. There's one Q. I think she's just auto-attacking. I actually didn't see this because I'm diving up top, so I want to see what happened. Did she just land a max range Q? It looks like it. Holy cows, that Q did so much damage. That was absurd. Yeah, look at that. It's doing almost like 240 plus 150. That's like 350, like 5. Like, it's almost like 1,000. Was that right? Almost like 800, 900 damage? Am I running these numbers correctly? So 240 plus 150, that'd be 350, 400 times 2 would be 800. So we're talking about like 700 or 800 damage. Look at, she's just diving this Ashe and just wrecking her. Ashe is going to flash away, but it does not matter. Flash barrier to keep her safe. Nice job by Sivir to pick up some free kills in the bot lane. But anyway, Sivir spell shield is it's a very, very core part of her kit. And the big change that they made in this most recent patch is they reduced the mana cost to 0. So it is only minimized by cooldown reduction. So, if the cooldown is the only thing that prevents you from using it, whereas previously it would cost you mana, but then it would give you back like a ton of mana. So it cost 50 mana, and it would give you 150 mana. Now it has no cost, but it gives you less mana back. But this is a great change because with Sivir, before she already had high mana costs. And so using her spell shield was very, very risky because it's like, well, I don't have that much mana left. Do I want to risk, because what if it doesn't succeed? What if you have an unsuccessful attempt and it fails? Then you waste your spell shield, you're not going to get any mana back, and it's just a very bad situation overall. So now that they made it free and made it much, much more, you can use it almost on cooldown. I remember this actually right here. We went super ham to try to pick up this kill. And I threw my lantern over thinking Lux would join us, but she did not. And we both just die to this. This Udyr has a ton of damage, actually. He went Hydra. That's crazy. So definitely full-on damage, kill stuff Udyr. Trick 2G style. But anyways, that is Sivir's E. Her spell shield is really powerful. And if you want to be really good with Sivir, perfect her spell shield. It is such a powerful ability. And it has it can really be game-breaking in terms of, the way that it deals with, it just changes lane matchups so heavily. It changes the way that you interact with certain champions, like a Blitzcrank or a Thresh. It's just a really strong ability overall, and I really like it. So last up will be her ultimate on the hunt. This was also something that was changed fairly heavily. It has a passive component, like I said. Once you level it and you activate your W, you gain attack speed. And then it has an active component where she rallies allies near her for 10 seconds, granting them movement speed bonus that lasts... Okay, so lasts 4 seconds. So previously, I believe what it did was it granted... There, she just popped it right there. It granted movement speed and attack speed to all allies. Now what they did is they shifted the attack speed to her W, and they made that kind of a selfish stat. But then they made the... I think the movement speed is even greater, if I'm not mistaken, and I think the cooldown is reduced as well. So this is one of the things that makes Sivir very powerful, because her On the Hunt is such a good teamfight tool. It really, again, solidifies her as a very, very strong AoE team-fighting AD carry, because she gets, this AoE... It's almost like having a Shurelya's Reverie for your entire team on a relatively low cooldown. And so your entire team can either chase or escape. They can really... pick and choose these team fights very effectively, and when they do decide to fight, you've got a great move speed advantage. So it again allows Sivir to solve some of her mobility problem, where if she wants to chase or escape, she can use her ultimate in combination with her passive to really do a lot of work. There, I'm going to land a really nice hook onto this poor Nami, and she's going to get blown up by Sivir. That takes Sivir all the way up to 10-2. She's gone super ham. So anyways, those are her abilities. She's really dependent on using her Q and her W for this massive amount of AoE damage. She's using her spell shield to be very, very, clutch and creative in terms of blocking, big time enemy abilities, crowd controls, high damaging abilities, things like that, and even like an Ash Arrow, whatever it may be, Blitzcrank Hook. You can spell shield it, get yourself some mana back, and totally negate that crowd control. And then she gets the move speed and the kiting potential from her passive and her ultimate. So like I said, Sivir, when would you pick and play Sivir? She is, like I said, very, very powerful in these AoE team fight comps. She kind of is like a better version of Miss Fortune. Miss Fortune is picked because of her big AoE ultimate. Well, with Sivir, you get a ton of AoE from her Q and her W. And she also is hard to shut down in lane because of her spell shield. So she can lane against some of the more difficult champions like Caitlyn. Caitlyn's Q becomes practically worthless when you have a Sivir spell shield because it's so easy to block that spell. But again, her weaknesses is that she is shorter range. She does have mana problems, and you need to be, I would say her spell shield has a skill ceiling. It's not an easy ability to use. You need to be pretty skillful in order to use it successfully. But I do think that she has a niche, and in that niche, she's very strong. If you need an area AD carry, that's good with team fighting, that's good with AoE. If you've got like a Kennen and a Mumu and a Jarvan, these champions that can lock down champions in one specific area, Sivir is a really good fit in those types of team comps. And I think she's going to be really, really good. I want to touch quickly on itemization as the video I think is ending right now. She really benefits from attack damage. Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, perhaps like a Static Shiv could even give her even better wave clear. I've seen people go Trinity Force. I'm not sold on it as a great item. She doesn't have the low enough cooldowns to really make use of Trinity Force, but like BT Last Whisper would be a really good combination. You get the most out of her Q and her W, which are already these huge damage-dealing spells, and you can do a lot of work. So anyways, that is Sivir in a nutshell after the rework. She's very powerful. I think her win rate may come down a little bit as we get more accustomed to her kit and kind of get a feel for what she can and cannot do. But I think she's strong, and I think she's back, and she's here to stay. Because before, she was definitely one of the worst AD carries, but they really did a good job of addressing some of her big flaws and still keeping her uniqueness. She definitely is a unique AD carry. There really is no other AD carry that is like her. And so she has the potential to be very, very powerful in certain team comps. So, I definitely would give her a recommendation for solo queue. Solo queue, definitely. AoE is very, very good in solo queue. These clumped up team fights happen all the time. So keep that in mind. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the new Sivir down in the comment section below. Feel free to rate and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.